Hi friends! I thought it would be fun to do one more version of The Three Little Pigs. A friend of mine and I were talking about this book recently, and I said I have to go to school and grab it and record this one. It's one of my favorites. So this is the true story of the Three Little Pigs, and it's told from the point of view of the Big Bad Wolf. I want you to think about whose version you believe. Do you believe the pigs? Do you believe the wolf? Ready? Here we go. The true story of the Three Little Pigs, as told to John Sieska. Oh, I wonder if the wolf is telling his story to the author. The pictures are illustrated by Lane Smith. John Sieska and Lane Smith are very famous for writing many wonderful stories and illustrating the pictures together like a team. Here we go. I love this version. I hope you do too. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. Now he's showing us his lesson of the day. Here's part A. There's a sneeze. Plus B, cup of sugar. Let's see what happens. This is the real story. Why, back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw? Can you see the wolf here, friends? He ran out of sugar when he was making his cake. He needs to go ask his neighbor for a cup of sugar. So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, "Little pig? Little pig, are you in?" No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. Friends, he's blaming the fact that this house is made out of straw for it falling down. He said he knocked and the door fell down. I don't know. I'm not sure who I believe just yet. That's when my nose started to itch. Remember, he has a bad cold right now? I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed a great sneeze. What's happening to the house? I see a piggy. And you know what? That whole straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. Oops. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate him up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just laying there. I don't know, that doesn't sound right to me. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, "Mr. Pig, are you in?" He yelled back, "Go away, wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin." See his little razor and all his hairs on his chin? That's not the version I remember. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. That means I promise. I'm telling the truth. I'm still not so sure. Now, food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open, so I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family because he had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, "Mr. Pig, are you in?" And do you know what that rude little porker answered? "Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again." Oh, it's not polite. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't give me even one little cup for my dear, sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, "And your old granny can sit on a pin." I don't remember that part from the original. I don't remember this piggy looking so mean. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down this pig's door. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. Here he is, still with that cup he needs for his sugar, huffing and puffing and sneezing. And here come the reporters to take down his story and the police officers. The rest, as they say, is history. Here's what the reporters printed. "Big bad wolf. Wolf, I'll huff and I'll puff. A.T. Wolf, big and bad." The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the whole story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down, and they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story. I was framed. That means he was set up. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar? And our story ends with the big bad wolf in jail, still trying to get his cup of sugar. Looks like he's been in there quite a long time by the length of his beard. So think about it. Do you believe the wolf? Do you believe the pigs? It's up to you. I hope you enjoyed it.